So yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and good evening or good morning if we are other parts of the world. So today we will be talking about maybe 2 or 3 different possible opportunities that are upcoming for STFC Food Network. Number one is a proof of concept proposals and projects. So you have heard now from 4 of our previous proof of concept proposal winners. And this year we would be opening calls for a little bit of more proof of concept proposals rather than scoping projects and proof of concept. So this year would be mostly proof of concept projects. The way we'll try and do this would be starting off with the Impact Sandpit, and the reason why we are calling it as an Impact Sandpit, because this will involve challenge owners, users, so people from industries and policies would also be present within the Sandpit to co-design the projects. Tentative dates is around 13th of June to 24th of June, and I'll talk about how we plan to run this Sandpit. Then we will have some fundings related to strategic workshops, and these are mostly with policymakers, but also with industries. And these strategic workshops are mostly top-down approach, so the requirement actually comes from the policymakers, such as Food Standards Agency within the UK, DEFRA within the UK, and the different industries, either in the UK or outside UK, and we could run the workshop around their requirement. Again, it's a flexible, it's a more like an open call, and we will run them as and when the requirement comes in. And then we'll have a proof of concept open call, which will be open for everybody. We are encouraging SFN Impact Sandpit mostly to be done with previous scoping projects, PI and co-Is, and also early career researchers who have received some funding before from STFC Food Network. Okay, so the way we plan to run the SFN Impact Sandpit is mostly in 2 weeks' time. So rather than it getting concentrated within 3 to 4 days, we are trying to see if we could expand that to maybe 10 days, over a 10 days period. So we would be funding around 3 to 4 projects up to £25,000. And primarily, this would be primarily for the investigators involved in previous scoping projects, so not necessarily in STFC Food Network Phase 2, but also inviting people from STFC Food Network Phase 1, and bring along with you, like, non-academic partners. If you don't have them, then of course we'll find the way to have some non-academic partners involved in the Sandpit. We are opening the calls for non-academic partners as well to be involved. And of course, there would be STFC researchers, because their involvement is absolutely critical. And I think we'll need to emphasize this a little bit more going ahead for the proof of concept proposal. STFC research needs to be embedded within the project rather than a kind of tag-along in the project. So we'll start with the launch, and where we are going to discuss about the different themes that we would be doing the Sandpit on. It would be kind of webinar followed by a virtual sort of networking event, where you'll get all the information related to the Sandpit. Then we'll run thematic sessions, maybe 2, maybe 3, around up to 3 thematic sessions. And then towards the end of week 1, we'll have those a few of the new STFC researchers presenting the capabilities of STFCs in the workshop. And it would be more of a workshop format. So, them talking first, but then they would be there to take up questions and help you understand a little bit more in terms of how STFC could be embedded within the projects. Then in week 2, we would be inviting at least 4 or 5 panel members, but also there would be wider industries and policy people around to help understand what you are doing, what you're developing, where they see the role of policy within that project, where they see the role of industry within that project, so that they are really embedded as an impact partner within those projects. So you'll have some scope of proposal refinement within week 2, and we are proposing that we'll have this event as a kind of hybrid pitches. So, for example, people who can travel to a place that we need to decide, maybe York, they can travel to at least one of the members from that particular group can travel and do a pitch session in person, and the others could join virtually. But then this needs to be completely set on stone. It hasn't been set on stone yet. It could be end of week 2, and I'm here, like we are here to take some suggestions as well. Do you think that this format is fine? Will it work, or would you rather want a more concentrated sort of workshop? 2 weeks is not the time that you would like to spend on a 25K grant. Then related to strategy workshop, as I already told, this is mostly to, this workshop needs to be designed with those challenge owners, and it needs to be driven by them, by their need, rather than us approaching for like, this is the workshop that we are going to run. It could be, our workshop would be mostly embedded in proof of concept or scoping project, that sort of thing. But this one would be different. And the idea would be to actually produce some sort of workshop reports that could actually go for industry reports or policy papers, policy white papers, or a feedback to UKRI or even Innovate UK when we are working with the industry-led challenge, to what the future funding should be looking at, where we should be actually focusing our resources. And we plan to run at least 3 or 4 workshops. There could be possibility of a follow-on projects, maybe a kind of rapid literature review and that sort of thing. And then comes proof of concept call summary, what we mean by this. So for example, in the Sandpit, there would be up to 3 to maybe maximum 4 projects being awarded. And again, I think the way we would like to award this would be kind of democratic vote, but also have the panel members involved in judging the pitches. So it would be hopefully 50% weightage on that. And then following that Sandpit, which will be over on 24th of June, we'll have this open call for proof of concept calls. So for example, if there were, let's say, 10 pitches and only 3 got funded, the rest others would be invited to submit a full proposal by 4th of July. And every proposal, even the proposal developed during the Sandpit, they need to build on previous work undertaken, ideally previous work undertaken by SFN scoping projects, or pursue new research applying STFC capabilities for use in food research and industry. Demonstrate significant impact potential, either via a follow-on funding, social, environmental impact, or commercial application. And they should be focusing on specific food challenge. You should be able to tell us how this could contribute to one or more of the sustainable development goals. And there should be clear pathways towards impact. Quality of STFC capabilities and their integration into the methodology is absolutely key. And if somebody really wants to know a little bit more on this, then feel free to email us. We can have a one-to-one sort of chat. Eligibility is, again, like, all projects must include at least one STFC researcher, either as a PI or as a co-I. All projects must include at least one non-academic organization. And when we say non-academic organization, there should be a clear role for them in generating impact, so not just for the namesake. And other eligibility criteria it applies is, you can have a little bit more details on the website. So yeah, if you have an idea, if you want to discuss anything, just get in touch with either Gareth, myself, or both of us, and we should find time between now and 4th of July, or between now and 13th of June, to help you develop from point A to point B. Then this is a shout out again for early career researcher internships. So we still have a few spaces left. The internship is around £5,000. So if you know of an early career researcher, or if you are an early career researcher, whether you are in the UK or outside UK, get in touch with us early on to discuss your ideas. This is an open call, so we can talk you through what we want exactly from the training and what you would benefit from this.